afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 147th commencement ceremony of Oak Park and River Forest High School. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the class of 2023. Graduates, please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2023. Please remain standing, and audience and members of the families, please stand for the national anthem, which will be performed by Senior Olivia Menensis.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bones bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. The 2023 commencement will proceed without interruption as printed in your program. At this time, graduating Student Council President Wami Oshekunla will deliver the welcome address.
Hey guys. Oh my God, there's a lot of people here. Okay. Good afternoon, parents, staff, administrators, teachers, and graduates. I'd like to start off by apologizing for SZA not being at prom. Her bus did get stuck. I wasn't able to deliver on that promise, but I am going to deliver on my promise of a speech. So, class of 2023, we have accomplished so much. Most of us started in 2010 at our 10 small elementary schools, 8 in Oak Park, 2 in River Forest. Then we came together a little more to our 3 different middle schools, Brooks being the best, of course. And finally, we all came together here to one big high school, OPRF. Not all of us may have had this exact path to this school, but everyone here today finished their high school career here, and that's the most important thing. Freshman year, we walked in with the upperclassmen teasing us and calling us freshies, biking around Oak Park to meet up, trying to not get trampled and lost on the 3rd floor landing, and attempting to find our footing in this new environment. This quickly got cut short, though, with COVID, where we found ourselves spending our whole sophomore year talking to each other through a screen, trying to make the best of a not-so-great situation. I had a lot of good FaceTime calls during 7th period that year. We then made it through to junior year, which I will not lie was grueling, trying to do well in our classes, take our standardized tests, and still have a social life somewhat barriered by masks. And before we knew it, we were in senior year. The 1 year without a single COVID barrier, but we only had 9 months left. Knowing that this was the last time we would all be seeing each other after 4 years of constantly being around one another, we tried to make the most of it, despite many of us probably having countless missed days plagued with senioritis. I always tell the underclassmen and my brother, who is going to be a freshman next year, that these 4 years go by way quicker than you think. I think a struggle that most of us face throughout these formative years is comparison. He does more activities than me. She got more likes on a post than me. They have better grades than me. I know this is something I struggled with a lot, even up to today. However, over time, I realized that it's incredibly important to celebrate and focus on what we have accomplished, no matter how small they may seem, because they are accomplishments nonetheless. You can't compare the journey you are on or the things you've achieved because everyone is going different places. It's important to recognize that learning and growing isn't just done with academics. It's also done emotionally, intellectually, morally, and has to do with who has grown and put in the effort, not who has the highest GPA, who made varsity, or whether you're going to college or not. One of the things I love about our class is that we are not afraid to speak up. We are a class that fights for change and improvement, like we did with the Safe March for Set the Expectation, and speaking out against sexual harassment in the school. We spoke up when we felt we were being treated unfairly. We brought up issues that we felt needed to be addressed with the administration, and this attribute of speaking up for ourselves is one I hope we all take with us as we move forward. My AP English literature teacher, Mr. Lee, frequently quoted the English poet Percy Shelley this year. "If winter comes, can spring be far behind?" This line from Shelley really stuck with me. While some say high school is supposed to be some of the best 4 years of your life, I acknowledge that for many of us it was a difficult time. But trust, the best is yet to come. Either way, high school is where we begin our growth into who we are going to be, and we walk it out, better and more informed people than when we first walked in. Spring is not far behind. It is, in fact, right in front of us. Thank you to the teachers who took the extra time to stay after class and explain how to do that one problem on the homework. Thank you to the friends that showed up to the sports game or stayed for the whole 2-hour-long orchestra concert just to support their friends. And thanks to the parents who have supported us every step of the way and have never hesitated to help us in any way we needed. Specifically, I wanted to quickly say thank you to my parents, Abby and Ire, as they are the reason I'm standing here today. While we have had stuff we wish we did or didn't do during these 4 years, I don't think it should necessarily be regretted because we all still made it here, the day we've all been waiting for since we walked in on kickoff day in 2019, graduation. Part of me wishes we could all have one more day, but the rest of me does not want to see another cockroach crawling across my lunch table. Yes, that did happen. I am ready to move onward and to strike my note in this world. Many people are understandably sad, which is okay, but I can't help but be excited. When one door closes, another one opens, and as this chapter of our lives closes, I couldn't be more excited for what is to come, and I hope you all are too. Congratulations, class of 2023. I am so proud of us.
Please join me in welcoming incoming Student Council President Ava Nicholson for the passing of the axe.
Yeah, Ava. Yeah. Should I grab it? Okay. The axe that I hold is more than a mere instrument for cutting wood. To generations of dupers, dear old Oak Parkers, it has a special meaning. It is the sacred axe that symbolizes all that is good at Oak Park and River Forest High School. First presented by the class of 1905, the axe has been transferred each year to the incoming senior class by the outgoing class as a visible symbol to the responsibility to uphold the traditions of those things that are best. Each year, the outgoing class adds a ribbon to the axe as a symbol of their year. The ribbons on this axe date back over 116 years. It is with pride and respect that I now pass to you, Ava Nicholson, as next year's President of Student Council, this axe as a symbol of Oak Park and River Forest High School. I know that next year's class of 2024 will take great pride in carrying on the traditions that are a part of us all. Thank you.
At this time, we want to take a moment to honor our seniors who are enlisting in the armed forces or entering into military academies. Students, as you hear your name, please stand at your seats so that we can recognize you. Nicholas Amstutz. Nick will be reporting to the Academy campus in West Point, New York on June 26th. He was inspired to attend West Point by his desire to serve and lead others in a military capacity. Ralph Bennett. Following graduation, Ralph plans to enlist in the United States Air Force. His family has a history of Air Force service, and he is excited to continue his family's tradition of service to our country. Ferris Dispensa. Ferris has received a Naval Reserve Officers Training Corps full tuition scholarship and will be attending Loyola University of Chicago this coming fall. He is excited about the opportunity to train to become a naval officer. Grace Cook. Grace will be attending the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. She was drawn to the opportunity to serve her country and pursue a future dedicated to leadership, honor, and excellence. She is eager to embark on this transformative journey as she represents our school and community with the utmost dedication and integrity. She will be pursuing an engineering degree to protect and defend through nuclear non-proliferation and lives by the idea to dream big. And William Godelis. William will be joining the Air Force branch at Virginia Tech's Corps of Cadets this fall. He plans on becoming a pilot after his time at Virginia Tech. William looks forward to what the future holds. Congratulations goes to all of our graduates, and best of luck to Nicholas, Ralph, Ferris, Grace, and William for your future in the armed forces and military academies. Please join me in welcoming our Superintendent for District 200, Dr. Greg Johnson.
All right, well, congratulations, parents, family members, and of course, our 2023 graduates. All of you who are here today have played a huge part in reaching this milestone. And so, seniors, to honor the fact that your presence here is, in fact, a community effort, before we do anything else, I have the first of two final assignments for you. This first one's in gratitude. Are you ready? I would like you all to turn towards the stands over here and give your friends and family members and everybody who's here for you a rousing round of applause, thanking them for being a part of your lives. All right, nice job. That's one done. A few minutes from now, I'll present your class to our Board of Education. And then, a short while later, this magic thing happens. You're no longer a high school student. It's rare that transitions in our lives can be so effectively narrowed down to one precise moment in time. But that's exactly what this is. It reminds me of this video my wife shared with me several months ago. Parents, you might have seen it, and if you did, you probably cried to it. Its basic message was that in the moment it can be so hard to know when major transitions like this happen. They're past us before we really know that they're even in front of us. So when exactly was it that your baby became a toddler? Or that toddler became a child? When exactly did that child shift from being a precocious, curious little kid to a more independent one who began to actively make choices on their own terms? If you're like me in any way, it's impossible to say, but today is different. The young adult who exits this stadium in about an hour or so will be a very different human being than the one who entered it. So what's the protocol for moments like this? Well, mostly if you're on stage with a microphone in front of you, you give advice. Over the past few weeks or so, all across the country, people like me are giving speeches about this year's class that are full of tidbits of wisdom designed to help guide our graduates on their future choices. As they reference such things, they'll probably even work in one of the 4 major graduation speech themes: dream big, work hard, make mistakes, and of course, be kind. Appropriately, given our collective experiences over the past 4 years, these speeches are also laced with calls to build on the perseverance and the adaptability you all exhibited during the pandemic. They've noted that this class tackled a generational challenge. And in the face of everything that upset our lives during the pandemic and that defines our politically turbulent times, these graduates in front of us adapted, struggled, changed, zoomed their hearts out, and then they came back eager to engage in high school as it was supposed to be. And all of those speeches will be right to reference such things. It's all true. It's outstanding advice. But I can't help to reflect back on being in your shoes, as 31 years ago, I sat on a similar football field not too far away. And to be honest, the last thing I wanted to hear from some bald, middle-aged dude burning in the sun was advice about how to live the good life. I just wanted to go live it. And graduates, I know many of you are the same, eager to head out and live your life with a bit more autonomy and a wealth of possibilities in front of you. Fortunately, thanks in part to these past 4 years, you're not heading out empty-handed. So take a few moments right now, and this is, for the record, not your second assignment, but take a few moments right now to think of those stories, the ones you'll take with you as you leave OPRF. Start with the ones about your highest accomplishments. You filled the classrooms of this school with an incredible amount of energy, thoughtfulness, humor, creative excellence. We have 41 scholarship cup winners here, hundreds of recognitions at our honors convocation earlier this year, and 11.6 million in merit-based scholarships for this class alone. Yes, thank you. Athletically, the achievements of this class are equally jaw-dropping. To highlight just our state qualifiers alone, we've had a total of 93 students qualified for state competitions across 13 different sports. And most recently, yesterday, our boys volleyball team placed 3rd in the state meets. Congratulations, volleyball. And if I have my day right, tomorrow our girls softball team is going to compete in the super sectional, so go after it, girls. But all of this is really just the tip of the iceberg. Think about those stories you'll take with you from the plays, concerts, spoken word performances, clubs and activities, athletics, academic competitions, services to our community, and many other ways that you've thrived while you've been here. Not all the stories, of course, end in success, though. You've had serious challenges along the way, in the classroom, on the field, on the stage. Some of you have taken action in the face of these challenges and advocated for changes to OPRF, which is exactly what you should be doing. Still others of you, perhaps many of you, have impressively struggled through personal obstacles in the pursuit of your diploma. And I know that some of you have experienced the loss of a loved one, unpredictable anxiety, dramatic, sometimes permanent shifts within your families, not to mention several other unnamed challenges. And in some cases, having the courage to work through these struggles is worthy of accolades and is worth of praise far beyond what we offer to our academic scholars and state champions. It's the product of these types of experiences, the stories we take from them for all our years ahead, that best embodies this district's motto. And so for those of you who aren't familiar with it, you can see it on the cover of our graduation program. Tagarista, which is Greek for the best. When this motto was adopted back in 1908, it was not meant to describe who we were at that point, not to arrogantly proclaim for all eternity that here at OPRF we are forever the best. No, its message was more humble. Like those stories that define your time here, it was meant to capture the value of day-to-day experiences, those experiences that we make meaning out of and that shape both how we see ourselves and how we understand the world around us as we pursue the best for ourselves and those we love. Novelist Richard Powers has his own thoughts on the best and the power of crafting a meaningful story from experiences. He states, "The best arguments in the world can't change a person's mind. The only thing that can do that is a powerful story. And these stories we tell ourselves are the ones that matter most. They capture our minds in ways that define how we understand past actions, how we engage in future ones. And so staying true to how I started my address today, I don't offer any advice here, but instead I ask you all one question. What type of story are you creating? The number of possible answers is infinite, of course, but that makes no difference. Parts of your story will be read by almost everyone you come into contact with. Some will barely care to read a sentence before they presume to know the conclusion, and at different times, others will want to know everything you can say about every word you have to choose. But either way, the story is yours, whether you're headed into the military, trades, college, workforce, a gap year, or are understandably undecided. The chapter in front of you is a new one, and it is yours to write. Now it's time for my final assignment for you, and this is a charge for you all to keep this notion in mind as you move forward. Know that you are prepared to write that next chapter because of the special experiences, challenges, successes you've all taken advantage of while you've been here at OPRF. All of this didn't have to happen. The past 4 years here weren't an accident, and so the charge I leave you with is to continually take advantage of the past and future experiences you encounter, make meaning out of them, and tell your story. So members of the board, because I know our graduates here are well equipped to do exactly that. As a superintendent of Oak Park and River Forest High School District 200, it is my joy and it is my privilege to inform you that each member of this senior class here today, the 147th such class from this high school, has successfully completed all requirements to earn their diploma. And it is therefore my honor to present to you the Oak Park and River Forest High School District 200 class of 2023.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to pick up on the theme that Superintendent Dr. Johnson gave us of stories and run with it a little bit. I'd like to talk about how we tell stories and what kind of stories you all will choose to tell. I'm a storyteller by profession. I've been a working writer for 30 years, and in my day job, I'm an English professor at UIC. I often draw on my own life to tell stories about individuals, but usually I'm trying to use those stories to talk about larger issues in our society. I'm going to tell you one of those stories now. When my son, Anand, was starting kindergarten at Holmes, I was in the midst of treatment for breast cancer. I'm fine now. Chemo, surgery, and radiation often left me exhausted, and I wasn't able to do much in the way of parenting that year. My husband was also exhausted, trying to take care of me and the kids, in addition to his job. My son had a tough time in kindergarten. Anand got called into the principal's office 17 times for disciplinary infractions, and at one point even got into a shouting match with the vice principal in the cafeteria. He was 5. Anand was struggling, and for a parent, that's really scary. It was also confusing because at home, he was a sweet kid with a strong sense of justice and fairness. Why did he keep getting into trouble at school? My husband is white, and Anand is not as dark as me, but still darker than some of his classmates. I couldn't help wondering whether his brown skin influenced how quick people were to assume he was violent, that he was the troublemaker in class. I was still working, so I drove to UIC a few times a week, listening to NPR on the commute. It was 2014, and we were in the midst of the Syrian refugee crisis. I kept hearing people say that, of course, we should let the poor women and children in, but they weren't so sure about the men, or even the teenage boys. those scary brown boys who might be violent. All of that merged, my anxiety about raising a brownish boy in America, those voices on the radio. I wrote a science fiction story, Plea, about refugees on another planet. I tried to put all my anxieties into that story, but also all my hopes, that people might read it, empathize with the plight of the refugees, and extend understanding and empathy to people in their own communities, in the real world. I hope that story might lead people to check themselves, to question dominant narratives. Maybe they'd extend a hand, helping out at a refugee crisis center, collecting supplies. One of my friends collects sewing machines for refugees who are used to making clothes by hand in their home countries. Or maybe they'd aim towards bigger changes, asking hard questions, looking for new stories. Who's excluded by our country's immigration laws? What is the purpose of nation states? Should we have borders at all? I don't know the answers to those questions, but I do know that we should be asking them, questioning the stories we've grown up with. Here's the thing. All of our social systems, all of them, were set up by people like you and me. People coming together and saying, if we do this, it will make our children safer, it will make our lives more prosperous, it will help keep a roof over people's heads and food on the table. Those initial impulses are often idealistic and high-minded, but they can also ossify over time. The way we decided to do it becomes the way we've always done it, and that is very resistant to change. Often, we try to improve society with small, incremental changes. Let's tweak this policy and provide free breakfast as well as free lunch to school kids, because it's impossible to focus on learning if your stomach is rumbling. Let's move some money over and hire a few more counselors, because hey, we've just been through 3 years of a pandemic, and everyone could use some help with their mental health. That's good work, and it's important work. But sometimes it can obscure the larger questions. What is school actually for? How is it structured? Is it serving all of our young people? Is there a better way to do things? Can we look to other societies, other cultures for warning or inspiration? What are the stories they're telling? What can we learn from each other to build better systems and fix the world? Maybe we make education a real priority and say, we want to invest in an educated society because we believe it'll make us all richer in the end. Any class you want to take at any point in your life, we're going to pay for it. Or maybe we should get rid of school altogether and find a new way to educate everyone. Maybe we'll get rid of insurance companies too and provide universal health care to all. Maybe we'll abolish prisons and seriously reconsider what led us to set up those prisons in the first place. So many things become possible once you start paying attention to the stories we're told and start thinking hard about the stories you want to tell. Everything can change, and often much faster than you'd believed possible. You've been in a structured learning environment for many years now. Wherever your path takes you next, you're going to be in charge of your own education in a much more independent way. You'll choose what you read, what you watch, who you listen to, whose stories influence your thoughts and actions. So here are my 2 specific asks. That you help when you can in the immediate ways. When your neighbor is hungry, they need a meal, not a plan for restructuring food distribution in 20 years. But that you simultaneously question everything, be willing to change everything. I want you to go out there, take your education in your own hands, create new, better stories, and then use them to fix the world. No pressure. So thank you all for your time. On behalf of the Board of Education, it is my great pleasure to accept the Oak Park and River Forest High School graduating class of 2022. Heartfelt congratulations to you all. Thank you.
Oak Park and River Forest High School, we present the unique award of the Scholarship Cup. This prestigious honor was first awarded in 1915 in lieu of a valedictorian and is given to the top scholars of each graduating class based on grade point average at the end of the 7th semester. Students must also have been an OPRF student for a minimum of 5 of the 7 semesters to be eligible for the award. This year, 41 students from the class of 2023 have earned a Scholarship Cup. At this time, please welcome Scholarship Cup recipient Mateo Neri to the stage to deliver the response on behalf of the class of 2023.
OPRF students, staff, family, community, and friends with the ticket, welcome and congratulations to the class of 2023. My name is Mateo Neri, and fun fact, did you know that the chances of winning the lottery are about 1 in 292 million? Given how I felt about my chances of finding friends my freshman year, I think I like those odds. Joining a class of over 800 students felt like an insurmountable task, especially with the fact I knew almost none of my peers. Yet, I was determined to find my place amongst this class, and so, on my second day of school, I sat down at a random lunch table and hit the jackpot by finding my now closest friends. While this may seem like pure coincidence, I believe it is OPRF's environment that allows us to create our community. Now, that task has not been easy, especially with the challenge of a global pandemic that upended any sense of balance we found at the start of our freshman year. Yet throughout this pandemic, the class of 2023 has persevered, not by good luck, but because of each other. This is in part thanks to the teachers who encouraged us to come together even when we felt like turning our cameras off. It is also thanks to our activities and our athletics, which allowed us to pursue our passions and find others who shared our interests in a world where we may have felt isolated. But above all, it is thanks to the friends that we found at OPRF who help us create this community where we feel valued. In my case, this community grew close through our absurd number of group chats, riveting Pictionary games, and late nights spent baking and singing karaoke. And while this community looks different for each of us, I believe the sense of belonging it gave to me is something it gave to all of us. Because of this community, our class has thrived through the challenges of high school and the pandemic, allowing us to achieve some of the greatest accomplishments any class at OPRF has ever reached. And because of this community, I'm sure that our class of incredible, driven individuals will continue to find good fortune in each of our respective careers. So now, after these 4 long years, we enter a world filled with division, inequity, and uncertainty, and we're tasked with finding the solution. But we're not alone. We have each other, the community that we've created, and the people that we found that help us reach those things that are best. And beyond that, these 4 years have provided us with the ability to extend that community no matter where we go. We have left our mark here at Oak Park and River Forest High School thanks to the hard work, innovations, and kindness of our class of 2023, our staff, and our faculty. I would like to thank my friends and family for helping me find a place in this incredible community. It is because of this community that we will continue as a class of 2023 to become leaders, innovators, and change makers, inspired to pursue our aspirations with compassion and empathy for one another. Because of this community, we will not let our voices go unheard. And most importantly, I know this community will give us the strength to triumph over whatever challenges we face together. Class of 2023, it has been an exceptionally remarkable 4 years with you, and I wish you all the best of luck in the future. Thank you.
Members of the class of 2023 will now wait no longer. They are to be presented with their diplomas from their counselor and the board members. Our readers today are History Division Head Amy Hill and Director of Employee Relations and Recruitment Janelle Bishop. We ask that you reserve your applause and recognition until all diplomas have been presented so that all graduates and their families may hear their names. Thank you.
We will begin with the students of Counselor Brandy Ambrose. Richard Kwame Ansong.
We will begin with the students of Ms. Cahill, Mia Lanz Moreira,
Reese Cyrus Delaney.
Camilla Rios,
Colette Patricia Delgado.
Cole Parker Roberson,
Valeria Delgado.
Saada Kimani Allegra Roberson,
Nadia Jasmine Dillon.
Charles Roberts,
Jacob Diaz.
Hadley Hazel Rocky,
Jade Amaya Dillard.
Gabriel Osval Rodriguez,
Jane P. DeMasso.
Scott Jin Woo Root,
Joseph W. DeMasso.
Sophie B. Rosenbaum,
Joshua Taylor Dingman.
Hezekiah Hosea Ross,
Julia Ruth Dingman.
Simon Mills Ruff,
Samuel Ross Dingman.
Amir Sadiq,
Clara Dodge.
Alexander Brian Same,
Ella Dodge.
Lyle James Sage,
Joshua Dominguez.
Miles Sage,
Ellis Dominus.
Ruhi Shastri Saldana,
Jaden Downen.
Cole Hughes Salgado,
Thomas James Douse.
Emily Sanchez,
Julian Walter Doyle.
Nana Ya Binma Sarpi,
Lillian Rose Drews.
Isabel Seda,
Iris Dugan.
Zach Anthony Saylor,
Kendall Duncan.
Michael Patrick Selfo,
Caitlin Dunlop.
Harold D. Shafsma,
Annalise Dusterberg.
Jonathan Henry Schiff,
Kendrick D. Edwards Jr.
Eleanor Jane Schottler,
Lauren Edwards.
Zoe White Schulman,
Amelia Ann Eigen.
Alyssa Joy Schulz,
Lena Page El Karimi.
Tuabek Grace Schuster,
Zachary Ethan Ellis.
Maya Rose Schwartz,
Jackson Matthew Elza.
Remy Karen Schwartz,
William Vocal Endress.
August John Schwob,
Heidi Sophia Anger.
Roger Lewis Scott III,
Eric Evans.
Wesley Francis Scott,
Victoria May Evans.
Elizabeth Rose Surson,
Owen D. Falconer,
Jamie Shalla,
John Philip Ferraro,
Alex Young Shapiro,
Amira Janelle Fields,
Andrew Min Shapiro,
Joshua Leo Fine,
Owen Robert Shepard,
Kieran Finn,
Holly Margaret Sherman,
Luke Peter Finn,
Sadie Orietta Sherman,
Kevin Ryan Fisher,
Aria Danielle Short,
Sadie Schubel Flegel,
Malcolm Terry Short,
David Flint,
Sanaya Jordan Shotwell,
Desmond Duke Flynn,
Macy Panjale Shunmugam,
Charles Jensen Folker,
Jaden Reed Sidal,
Gary Ford,
Jean Aubrey Samuel Silvetti Schmidt,
Joshua Fortman,
Matisse Nathaniel Simmons,
Jackson Kenneth Freiker,
Rachel Yael Simon,
Lillian Grace Fulton,
Markian Skomarovsky,
Jonah Frederick Elijah Funk,
Margot Williams Sloan,
Mary Hope Gaskill,
Aaron Michael Smeaton,
Rachel Ellen Gaskill,
Molly Spillane,
Alicia Gaylord,
Timothy Spillane,
Calvin Thomas Gearhart,
Brennan Butler Stam,
Giovanni Noel Gerace,
Stefano Martin Stella,
Roya Yvonne Garavi,
Amelia Genovate Stramitis.
Abigail Rose Gemsa,
Now graduating are Ms. Fuentes' students. Fantasia A. Hughes,
Khalil Gill,
Kayla Means,
Ian Andrew Glassa,
Micah Gabriel Moore,
William Constantine Godelis,
Nathaniel Ezra Moore,
Jack David Gooch,
Tyler James Moore,
Annabelle Govea,
Isabella Rosilia Morales,
Centeo Shimon Kyle Milton II.
Daniel Moran,
Now graduating are Miss Tia Campbell's students. Ava Cheeks,
Maeve Moran,
Alexander Nicholas Hassapis,
Anne Sheridan Maroney,
Evan Zachary Houtman,
Ryan Macaulay Maroney,
Patrick Joseph Healy,
Hodari Justin Motley,
Francis Lawrence Zarley Heinzman,
Elijah Alejandro Mowat,
Sophia Emmeline Henry,
Sadiq K.R. Mohammed,
Cyrus Major Herbert,
Augustin Menante,
Andrew Hill,
Samuel Mercio,
Nicholas Hinojosa,
Rodney Andrew Murphy Jr.,
Peyton Marie Hope,
Isabella Nachi,
Kylie Houghton,
Vivian Therese Nafziger,
Eleanor Edith Huber,
Haji Khaled Najera,
Gordon Robertson Hunter,
Isabel Rose Najera,
Brad Edmeyer Hughesby,
Nabil Erasto Najera,
Victoria Morgan Hudson,
Wells Grover Negron,
Alex Hempson,
Mateo Francisco Neri,
Ava Virginia Issel,
Ethan Lewis Nooner,
Sanaya Chanel Jackson,
Liam James Newhart,
Elijah Frederick Jackson,
Benjamin Robert Niewenner,
Jaden Taylor Jackson,
Matthew Gregory Novak,
Isabel Layla Jacobson,
Alyssa Sophia Nychik,
Ian Tejas Jaggy,
Brady Edward O'Connor,
Shanice Tricia James,
Fiona Marr O'Connor,
Tara Sandra Jansen Singh,
Oluyenka Ife Ogunchetan,
Jacob J. Jenks,
Naya Oliveras Gray,
Aaron David Jenkins,
Ruthann Jane Olson,
Alea Elise Johnson,
Irewamide Mayan Oshikanlu,
Alistair James Johnson,
Adrian Rose Ostro,
Carnell Johnson.
Clara Swiggers Otati.
Claire Maria Johnson.
Luke Edward Owen.
Gavin Alexander Johnson.
Nicholas Joseph Owen.
Sophia Marie Johnson.
Caden Pachenko.
Carter Preston Jones.
Jaden Alexander Pagan.
Cassidy Kitzrow Jones.
Yanasia Monet Pandy.
Connor T. Jones.
Roman Spiridon Pantazopoulos.
Rose Kalimba.
James Robert Panton.
Isabella Mi Kalina.
John Dennis Papier.
John Robert Kane.
Paloma Pareja.
Alan Kang.
Luis Emmanuel Pascarella.
Austin Kanza.
Christopher J. Peace.
Jeremy Abraham Kantz.
David Peel.
Jacob Aaron Kaplan.
Janiyah C. Perez.
Mason Charles King.
Amelia Joy Parasho.
Jessica Jane Locke.
Elsa Alice Perry.
Autumn T. Macklin.
Gabrielle Christine Pickens.
Annabelle Grace Mastbrook.
Jairo Noe Pilado.
Declan James Mastbrook.
Jordan Faith Pillow.
Rosa Lucia Telek Lundell.
Malik Mariano Pintado Vertner.
Now graduating our Jacqueline Hanson students. Daniel Louis Keene.
Rolando Pisabaj.
Gabriel Skaggs Kinjora.
Annalise Petroda.
Ian Michael Kelly.
Elizabeth Joy Davis Porter.
Alfred Fox Kelly.
Sasha Poveda.
Emmett Kelly.
William Manis Quinlan.
Genevieve Marie Kelly.
Valentina Liana Ramirez.
Isaac Fox Kelly.
Now graduating are Mr. Herbst students. William Eben Brandhorst.
Lauren Ellen Kelly.
Aurelia Bryce.
William Thomas Kelly.
Tyler Michael Brooks.
Jolie Ethel Kennedy.
Jonathan Reed Brown.
Peter B. Canoyan.
Molly Kathleen Brown.
Isaac John Kent.
Trinity Alexander Brown.
Keegan Rose Cairns.
Sage Brinning.
Benjamin Chang Kerstetter.
Joshua Burns.
Mayan Paz Kircher.
Margaret Rachel Buttman.
Gwendolyn Ellery Keys.
Sandra Denise Caldwell.
Jalen Kimani Chiari.
Seth Coleman Calhoun.
Braden Joseph Kiker.
Louise Anna Calkins.
Robert Daly Kilberg.
Zakia Aziza Nia Callender.
Joshua Cortland Kilworth.
Charles Martin Calero.
Amelie Gia Kim.
Evan Joseph Campbell.
Emmett Kindler.
Patrick Liam Carmody.
Sophie Silver Germain King.
Roger Elliott Karstens.
Rohan Amit Kinney.
Talia Grace Castle.
Weston Lee Kirk.
Kyle Joseph Chaplot.
Grace Cecilia Cook.
Maya Pauline Sharikas.
Andrew John Koenig.
Annika Chesney.
Alexis Lynn Cohn.
Gabriella Klebeck.
Vincent Charles Kolovitz.
Ariadne Bridget Chow.
Benjamin Koritz.
Elise Catherine Schrenko.
Hederick Gerhard Christian Kosten.
Mia Renee Chrisman.
Victoria Ella Chorus.
Sanjeet Singh Chu.
Tal Krimmer.
Sanveer Singh Chu.
Abigail Grace Krozel.
Duwan Vantrell Sintron.
Isabel Kathleen Krasinski.
Ignas Timonis Chulada.
Joseph Michael Kuchars.
Dylan James Clancy.
John Joseph Kenster III.
Aiden John Clark.
Lucas Martin Colt Benute.
Justice Simone Clark.
Leora Rose Kurtz.
Miles Cavan Clary.
Adolfo Braulio Laborde.
Cyan DeVell Clay.
Cooper Hines Lacey.
Benjamin Cohen.
Rosalie Lagatola.
Marcus Oscar Corona.
Helen Grace Lalos Harrell.
Joseph Richard Cody.
Eli Landsman.
Now graduating are Mr. Medina's students. Brianna Danielle Farini.
Maxie Langenberg.
Mia Lena Ferrigno.
Jillian Xing Ting Irene Larson.
Matthew Fielding.
Claire Ashlyn Lau.
Enzo Filoramo.
Zanaya Lay Pigram.
Gia Marie Finella Mills.
Michael Layton.
Alice Catherine Flynn.
Adam Joshua Lazarchik.
Morgan Elizabeth Fox.
Eva Bernice Leach.
James Darley Friedman.
Caroline Elise Lehman.
Max Joseph Friedman.
John F. Linehan.
Theodore Henry Friedman.
Angeline Lobaton.
Giovanna Celeste Furlan.
Samaya Jolie Love.
Reese Garland.
Justin Dwayne Moon.
Damian Gilgen.
Now graduating are Heidi Lynch's students. Paul Matthew Kitch.
Yvonne Nicholas Gilman.
Romer Alim Lawrence.
Tamaya Michelle Goggins.
Adelaide Helena Lazarski.
Catherine Jensen Goldberg.
Matthew Sung Man Lee.
Catherine Bell Gola.
Olivia Jiazin Lee.
Alexa Celia Gomez.
Maria Mahay Leon.
Pablo Javier Gonzalez.
Sydney Charin Leonard.
Casey Cotter Greenfield.
Owen Robert Lerner.
Lila Beatrix Grove.
William Forrest Leschnack.
Natalia Mariel Guerrero.
Liam Joseph Lasowski.
Maya Susan Geraro.
Adam Lesney.
Joe Nathan Abuyaboy Guevara.
Anaya Lewis.
Isabella Asha Gupta.
Micah Saul Liebman.
Sonia Marie Gutierrez.
Daniel John Lim.
Joseph Harvey.
Maya Magdalene Lim.
Rasan Jamal Hall.
Estefania Linares.
Samuel Frank Halperin.
Cassidy Fidela Lyle.
Grace Elizabeth Hamilton.
Ethan Joakai Liu.
Catherine Mary Hampson.
Natalia Lair Peebles.
Jake Ramon Hansen.
Abigail Kate Lofgren.
Nakaya Harrelson.
Ray R. Longstreet Jr.
Brian William Hardy.
Zamir Lucas.
Emmett George Harmon.
Nora Lynn Luptek.
Owen Basil Harris.
Michaelia Ari Lyles.
Harrison Morrow Hartzell.
Bridget Aaron Lynch.
Alexander Hennef Hayden.
Cecilia Teresa Lynch.
Colin Michael Hayes.
Sydney Joy McDonald.
Owen Zachary Hendrickson.
McKenna Beatrice Jacqueline Macon.
Takura Randall Hess.
Angelo Pierre Madison.
Nathan James Heastand.
Kelvin Majity Maginor.
Jaden Marie Shea Bailey. Jaden Marley Shea Bailey.
Reed P. Maggio.
Kayla Christina Hyde.
Luke Chet Mahalko.
Isaac Miranda.
Audrey Maitlow.
Now graduating are Miss O'Keefe's students. Amani Bishop Ash.
Elizabeth Micah.
Matthew Michael Carbone.
Chloe Ming Lee Mano.
Amari Fias Carter.
Alexander Ivan Marinov.
Pearson Anthony Case.
Margaret Bell Marco.
Lee Chalum Tiarana.
Christian Lance Marshall,
Samuel Ronald Chapman Reenstra,
Samuel Matthew Caleb Marshall,
Lily Catherine Charco,
Alan Martinez,
Shane Guiying Colpois,
Alexandra Masumi,
Brianna Elizabeth Connell,
Finley Henry Mattis,
L. Konauer,
Henry Nicholas Maycrook,
Ethan James Cooper,
Rachel McCann,
Nilo Browning Cornell,
Andrew Crawford McConville,
Kelly Rosemary McDonald Cortez,
Henry Francis McEachen,
Kevin Edward McDonald Cortez,
Ellis Amada Medea,
Margaret Louise Cotter,
Joshua Vincent Meister,
Jaden Sanaa Cox,
Olivia Lourdes Meneses,
Reagan Mary Cronin,
Meredith Ann Moody.
Nasir David Cruz,
Now graduating, Pete Nixon's students. Adeline N. Smith,
Isaac Christian Cummings,
Thomas Arthur Smith,
Leah Page Curtin,
Cole Samuel Sneed,
Ava Mae Dalton,
Vincent Joseph Solari,
Kennedy Daniel,
Ruben Bonfilioli Sonnenschein,
Luis Edwin Hoop Daniel,
Zion Sophia Sosa,
Madeline Daniel,
Maya Catherine Soden,
Yasmin Daniels,
Henry Douglas Souders,
Riley Brooklyn Danley,
Matthew St. Martin,
Milan Data Nemana,
Amari Caden Starks,
Jackson Davis,
Eloise Sylvia Stern,
Tyler Joseph Davis,
Monica A.L. Stewart,
Stephen Day III,
Una Marguerite Stewart,
Joaquin Andres de la Rosa,
Anne Elise Stein,
Michael Halloran Delisle,
Catherine Grace Sturgeon,
Rebecca Ann D.,
Ella Ann Sukamel,
Catherine Rose DeHaan,
Otto Herbert Summy,
David Eric Delaney,
Angelina Sonardio,
John Delphin,
Ian Tobias Suter,
Paul Jean-Marcel Delignon,
William Hank Swift,
Amir De Rousseau,
Nicholas Simon Tomash Orlandia,
Jacob Scott Drews,
Phoebe Ruth Tenacia,
Kira Josette Dublin,
Ellison Rafferty Tanner,
Mariana Amelia Pedraza.
Makai Nasir Devon Tate,
Now graduating are Mr. Radishevsky's students. Emily Celine Martignan,
Maxwell Marvin Taub,
Michelle Barbara Martignan,
Iris Margaret Taylor,
Ryan Lewis Martin,
Shayla Thamby,
Julian Martinez,
Emily Allison Thesey,
Jaden English Matthews,
Taylor Thomason,
Catherine Powell Matoka,
Aaliyah Siri Thurman,
Jaden Chase Matthews,
Josie Nell Tikkanen,
Sabina Anna Mazer,
Zaria Kelly Towns,
Kellen Kai McLean,
Evan Craig Thomas Trevelyan,
Shania Latrice McCoy,
Julia Schaefer Trevino,
Cole Kongju McElravy,
Jack Edward Tremarco,
Audrey Denbor McKenna,
Mia Luciana Trotta,
Imani Grace McLaurin Young,
Isabella Lola Trotter,
Isis Sky McLaurin Young,
Cameron Alexis Truelove,
Mallory Ruby Meadows,
Isaac Tullian,
Gabriel Mateo Medina,
Dior Liani Tolberg,
Keith Michael Megarides,
Bianca Jean Turner,
Joaquin Mendoza,
Faith Kimberly Turner,
Tej Menon,
Reed L. Ubalor,
Henry Daniel Metrick,
Cameron Joseph Underwood,
Henry Ellison Mickus,
Nathan David Urban Williams,
Felix Edward Mikos,
Alexander Adam Ooze,
Emmy Maya Mixek,
Matthew Robert Valentine,
Gavin Reed Miller,
Molly Valentine,
Owen Patrick Miller,
Will Robert Van Dynen,
Ryan Jeffrey Miller,
Timothy Michael Wietzen,
Trinity Noel Miller,
Jackson B. Waters.
John Lawrence Mills,
Now graduating Carolyn Ojigatu students, Jacoby Zion Ackery,
Avery Grace Menace,
Carson A. Adam,
Ariana Cecilia Mirkovic,
Noah Eleanor Adams,
Danya Kamran Mirza,
Grayson W. Adelstein,
Samuel Thomas Missman,
Joel E. Atkins,
Miles Aaron Misdak,
Zaina Ahmed,
Benjamin Robert Mitchell,
J. Matthew On,
Christopher Joseph Mitchell,
Kylie Marie Aiello,
Alexander Molinar Azabajic,
Aya Al Janabi,
Adam Charles Moncrief,
Henry Johnson Albrecht,
Taylor Elise Montes Williams,
Tyler Roma Alfonsi,
Ryan Patrick Montroy,
Dontrell Allen,
Charles Eric Moore III,
Violet Jewel Allgood,
Andrea Montserrat Munoz,
Sebastian Cristobal Alonso,
Ava Sloan Mina Encho Alepo Atsibi,
Danny Abrahim Amra,
Jeremiah Allen Nelson,
Nicholas Edward Daniel Amstutz,
Madeline Kate Newmark,
Isabella Grace Amuna Tegi,
Josephine Clarice Nolan,
Callie Elizabeth Anderson,
Will Norman,
Kara Maria Anderson,
Nainoa Clark Ohada,
Donovan Mackay Anderson,
Tashelle Grace O'Neill,
Jeremiah LaShawn Anderson,
Colin M. Parker.
Jamie Anguiano,
Now graduating are Mr. Sponsler's students, Corinne Therese Arquette,
Christina Anthony,
Haley Grace Bartelli,
Louise Francine Anzaldi,
James Bartley,
Lucy Leah Stingline Armbruster,
Gia Kaur Batra,
Jordan Parker Arnold Anderson,
Patrick Bayer,
Landon Mateus Arnold,
Ariana Bayron,
Pippa Cornelia Anderson Ashley,
Saul Fridland Baser,
Ava Ashton,
Anthony Lamel Beecham II,
Catherine Marie Ashton,
Vivian May Beck,
Sophia Lucy Atkin,
Peyton Iman Beeler,
Autumn Atkinson,
Spencer Andrew Bell,
Ryan Atkinson,
Jordan Bender,
Asima Kane Atan,
Arina Maximovna Benolovinskaya,
Owen Andrew Augustine,
Ralph Carl Bennett III,
Samuel George Aylesworth,
Lillian Rose Berg,
Henry Paul Babwin,
Violet Marie Berg,
Allison Ann Bayer,
Aiden Victor Bertocchini,
Kavi Robert Bahulian,
Ayana Barbara Best,
Clayton Michael Baird,
Leo Esteban Best,
Charles Mario Baker,
Lauren Elizabeth Bevan,
Cora Marbury Baker,
Ian Bezaire,
Jackson Henry Baker,
Jalen Oris Billups,
Marin Ruth Baker,
Brock Randall Basilian,
Nicolaus Balafas,
Daniel Jameson Blatchford,
Manali Mahela Bandara,
Aaron Douglas Blue,
Daniel Joseph Barney,
Matthew L. Boland,
Colin Moore Barrett,
Liana Alexa Bolivar,
Samantha Carol Barrett,
Derek Jerome Bomar II,
Alexander Michael Barron,
Joshua Caleb Isaac Bonds,
Eloise Clementine Beaulieu,
Benjamin Philip Bonnick,
Benjamin Belmar,
Della Vonnegut,
Jennifer Ann Berggren,
Charlotte Carlson Boltinghouse,
Halem Wang,
Lily Irina Boyer,
Ava Ann Jankovic,
Jamie Elizabeth Marie Bradley,
Matthew Alexander Johofsky.
Ian Cager Brandis,
Now graduating, Thaddeus Sherman's students. Jessica Park,
Jacob Thomas Browner,
Nicholas Mark Perel,
Christina Bray,
Sophie Payne,
Martha Brennan,
Marco Pehar,
Catherine O'Malley Bromett,
Katie Alexandra Peralta Mejia,
Philip Daniel Brooks Jr.,
Cassidy Michelle Peterson,
Samuel Brown,
Kaylee Nayeli Piacella,
Tremaine Brown,
Panast W. Pimsarn,
Lucy Brownlow,
Taisei Yamamoto Pence,
Julia Lee Brummel,
Luca Paul Pizzolini,
Mariana and Jeannie Bryan Johnson,
Zoe Emily Pisano,
Connor Ray Buford,
Ezra Avi Luck Plotkin,
Kimberly Marie Burgos,
Matthew O. Poe,
Marchand Willie Burton,
Sophia Lane Pope,
Samuel Irvin Bush,
Ella Powers,
John Christopher Caceres,
Calvin H. Prosky,
Natalie Carrera,
Olivia Pruden,
Kendall Lydia Chandler,
Asha Puri,
Maisie Jane Compton,
Nikhil Puri,
Joseph Dashbach,
Natalie Elise Quinn,
Ferris Dispenza,
Geneva Rader Carter,
Vance Domens,
Caroline Annette Radusha,
Blake Ladon Donaldson,
Eleanor Christmas Rate,
Genesis Dewan Dumaraog,
Sofia Ramirez Castañeda,
Mia Daniel Donovan,
Maya Rankin,
Rowan Gerard Egan,
Nicholas Dan Rashke,
Benjamin Damon Engelhart,
Trevor William Raymond,
Aidan Esparza,
Charles Thomas Ridling,
Faye Ennis Evans,
Morgan Jean Reckamp,
Angus Brian Evanson,
Owen Michael Redman,
Colin Daniel Garcia,
Charles Vincent Reeder,
Sarah Mayone Hollis.
Shannon Elizabeth Reese,
Now graduating are Miss White's students. Keziah Evans,
Kelly Marie Reagan,
William Joseph Varga,
Summer Catherine Regan,
Ian Philip Vasco,
Bradley Wolf Reichart,
Catherine Ann Vest,
Richard Renner,
Ingrid Sophia Vixness,
Abigail Hope Revson,
Nolan Robert Vitale,
Caroline Vivi Revson,
William James Valentine,
Addison Grace Rexroth,
Gia Sophia Weiswitz,
Francisco Andrew Reyes,
Kara Loretta Wallachy,
Ella Grace Resney,
Lillian Esther Walker,
Grace Catherine Riccio,
Clara Christensen Ware,
Benjamin Richards,
Zoe E. Warzika,
Rhea Nicole Richards,
John Patrick Weber,
Shay Alexander Richards,
Quentin William Way Henrys,
Lauren Anna Richter Stewart,
Simon Henry Wellner,
Sophie Charlotte Riedfeld,
Ezekiel Wells,
Henry Anders Nicastro Roloff,
Jayla Wells,
Logan Rose,
Lauren Wells,
Julia Davy Isabella Rosen,
Peyton Wernett,
Trinity Teresa Doherty Roy,
Catherine Worthman,
Catherine Rose Rutman,
Cooper Temple Wesley,
Julian Casey Rutstein,
Genevieve Scarlett Westmeyer,
Sophia Rose Riotti,
William Michael Wheeler,
Catherine Margaret Ryan,
Jamari Christopher Whitlock,
Michael Ryan,
Elliot Wynne Whitmore,
Riley Ann Sarsony.
Ada Louise Margaret Wigfield. Carlin C. Williams. Jamari Marshawn Williams. Marcus Devon Willis. Rohan Nicholas Wilsnack. Bryce Kenneth Wilson. Layla Mackenzie Wilson. Reed Torrance Wilson. Trevor Landon Wilson. Caleb Andre Wimberly. Grace Ann Winkelhockey. Aiden Winter. Beck Winter. Dylan James Whipf. Edward Julian Walensky III. Juliana Jean Walensky. Sam Wellick Wokstein. Gabriel Bradford Wolter. Jessica Woltusen. Noah Woods. Lillian Catherine Wozniak. Tess Elizabeth Wright. Charles Luke Yang. Don Jabari York. Yochan Yoon. Ella Marie Zaros. Peter Richard Zarowski. Let's give all our graduates a huge round of applause.
As is academic tradition, a student who has not yet earned a diploma wears the tassel of their mortarboard on the right side. However, once the degree is conferred, the scholar moves the tassel to the left side to signify their accomplishments. In recognition of your new status, I invite all graduates to now move your tassel from the right side to the left. Graduates, would you please stand? Turn and face the audience. Families and guests, I present to you the graduates of Oak Park and River Forest High School 2023. Our graduates will now turn to face our tennis courts. And family and guests, please stay seated while the graduates exit the stadium. Once the graduates have exited the stadium, we ask that guests leave the same way they entered. If you came through the home bleachers, you can also use the Lake Street exits, accessible through the staircases within the stand. We thank you so very much.
Let's get them out. You know what? Richard, leave the reception.